Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete?
Isn't that a lovely sound? Serial was originated with animation in mind, and so a lot of the enunciation is a bit exaggerated because because it's animated. And then following that, it was a Broadway musical, which also is a little over the top. So Halle has a difficult job of taking that performance expectation and then translating it into a live action situation where her face is like it's right here. This is what the camera would be, and she has to make sure that the words are very clear while also not being ridiculous. So I think she does a really great job here by finishing the words with just the lightest bits of consonants.
The girl who has everything.
Beautiful. Beautiful. The way that she tails off on the phrase. It's very speech-like.
Look at this trove, treasures untold.
I love that too. Look at this straw. Very neutral vowels. Let's see what she does with it.
How many wonders can one cavern hold?
Ooh, right? Still have these neutral vowels.
Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything.
She's brightening the vowels as the phrase progresses, as a way of shaping the journey of the words.
I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty.
I love that too, right? So she's treasures untold, extending the vowel. Now she is going to chop up the vowels so that consonants come in nice and clear. She's filled with contrast. She's always doing something interesting.
I've got who's it's and what's it's galore. You want thingamabob?
Right? Look at this trove, treasures untold. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Phrasing is brilliant. She is really, really brilliant when it comes to making the words come across in a way that's not pedantic. Also, I don't think it's subtle. I think it's, and I think that's a good thing. She's very deliberate and she's very clear and she's very intentional. I love this that she simplifies even more.
You want thingamabobs?
That it was in slow motion, unintentional, but you get what I'm saying here. Again, this is a journey that she has to travel through, and she's really good at pushing the intensity and bringing it back. Pushing the intensity, bringing it back.
You want thingamabobs? I got 20.
And acting too, right? That's very, if you're not in character and you're not acting well, that can go very badly and be very awful.
But who cares? No big deal.
Ooh. Those are called triplets, ladies and gentlemen. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. Right? She is super stretching out that legato in a beautiful fashion.
No big deal.
And the way that she grows on deal, no big deal.
I want more.
This goes back to these neutral vowels, right? Not I want more, it's I want more. It's very neutral, and it's great because this is a part where almost, and I would make this decision, where you want a crescendo on it. I want more. But if you go too far, this next part of the phrase just sounds weird. So she has the discipline. She's not pulling it back in the sense that she's not giving it value. She's giving it value in the context of the entire performance.
I want more.
Right? Now we get to that speech like.
I want to be where the people are.
She starts out very simply, I want to be where the people are. And now she's going to get into the senses. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing, right? To get into and emphasize senses. I want to hear, I want to see, I want to taste, I want to touch. There's a level of intimacy and import into those kinds of lyrics, and watch how she handles it.
I want to see, I'm dancing.
I love here too is that, listen to the words, I want to see them dancing. Dancing is abrupt, right? She tails it end on there, but the holding on to the S is a dangerous thing to do as a singer. There are dedicated tools to getting rid of S's called de-essers. Okay, the hard thing about S is that it just covers all these frequencies, and you could probably hear it on my end when it's right. That wall that you're looking up on those upper partials, right there, that is S. Is dominant in frequency ranges that the human ear biases itself towards. What does that mean? We get into the frequency range, the literal hertz, right, of sound. When you get anywhere from about 5,000 to 7,000 hertz, we view that as being obnoxious. That is the same frequency range that bugs when we hear bzzz, like that's that frequency range. It's obnoxious, truly. So when I do this, it's not pleasant. Probably some of you already clicked off the video. Totally understandable. So why does Halle hold it? He holds an S, something that many people find obnoxious. Why does she do it? For the sake of control. By elongating it, she has more dynamic control. C, not C, C, right? She uses that to crescendo on a consonant. It's so smart.
Walking around on those. What are you calling? Oh.
Oh. So the same thing here, right? So f is a fricative consonant, has the same properties as an S, but by making every other consonant really light and then giving us that emphasis on the word feet, what we end up getting is we end up getting a focus in the sentence on the words. She is really understanding and delivering the text of the piece.
Flipping your fins, you don't get too far.
Percussiveness on the consonants. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far.
Strolling along down a, what's that word again? Street.
Oh, it's so hard to go to the climax too early in this song. It's a wonderful song, right? She has walked it back several times so that she can do more. This is another instance of building up that you have to build it up, but you have to do it in the context of the entire song.
Up where they run, up where
It's so good I put it in slow motion.
they run, up where they stay all day in the sun.
Right, again with those neutral, stay all day in the sun. That keeps it under wraps. Look what she does next. Breaks the legato to put emphasis on the word.
Wish I could be.
And the way that she uses her breath to sound exasperated is absolutely brilliant.
Part of that world.
I love this too. I love this. So many singers get criticism for this. We're going to zoom into this. Look at her jaw. What she does with the jaw is that she ends up morphing the vowel. And that allows her to kind of build off of it. Rochelle Farrell, totally the queen of that. To shape the vowel. In singing, you sing on vowels. And when you're on vowels, we morph them all the time. All the time we do vowel modification. So to do that is just a little bit of a way to control the growth of the tune. This is one of my favorite moments right here, right? Check out how she emphasizes the words that rhyme.
I give if I could live out of these waters.
She emphasizes them in two different ways. What would I give if I could live? Right? She wants to live. She doesn't want to give, but she wants to give so that she can live. And so the way that she contrasts that in the phrase and the way that she expresses those words, super smart. So smart. It's like,
would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? Bet you on
so good. More of the same, right? It is more of the same that she's doing this with, but it's still brilliant. Taking the idea, stretching it out, giving it a lot of value. prevents this like thing where it almost could be like manic, or if you're doing too many changes at once. Now we're gonna see it again. We're gonna see it again. Ready for this?
Would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand?
The vowels. There are so many different little modifications happening there. He punches pe, but uses a neutral vowel, so it's not pay, right? Oh, my honey. None of that, right? What would I pay to spend a day under the sand? And it gives it this trajectory, right?
You on land, they understand.
Ooh, more vowel modification. Bet you on land, they'd understand.
They understand.
Right?
But they don't reprimand their does. But right
I love the triplet there, that they don't reprimand their daughters.
women, sick of swimming, ready to stand.
That's what we've been waiting for. That if that happens sooner, this moment is less than. First of all, let's just take a moment to appreciate the man that I want to be when I grow up. The man in the blue hat right here, right? He's there with his like little tinsel thing, mouthing the words. Look at that.
Ready to know what the people know.
He's right there. He's like 50 years old. He's got cameras on him, and one of the most viewed music live performances that's just going to happen in like that week or month. And he's just like, yeah, I don't care. Here, I love The Little Mermaid, and this is my dream. Respect.
Ready to know what the people know.
That belt is brilliant. She uses she kind of digs into it a little bit, and that gives her this little bit more control. It's brilliant. Halle Bailey can belt her face off.
Ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers.
Again, get some answers. She's being very, very specific about when she uses those neutral vowels.
But when's it my turn?
I love it. And she has, what I love about Halle and Chloe as well, her sister, is that they both are very, very versatile. We just heard a phenomenal belt, right? But then she goes on and she starts doing a thyroid cartilage tilt, which sounds classical. Some answers burn. This little Adam's apple thing right here, this is the thyroid cartilage, right? Everyone has it. It's just more prominent on men. So you can tilt this sucker. Stand. And when you tilt that, the muscles are a little weak, right? They're very tiny, and so they start to wobble a little bit, and that's what gives us vibrato. She's pulling that out and just diversifying the sounds in order to give text life. Recurring theme here.
When's it my turn? Wouldn't I
Oh,
love?
what an interesting way to focus on the word love.
When's it my turn?
Right? When's it my turn? She's gentle there. She's vulnerable. It's really interesting that love gets the power.
When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love?
The level of control that takes is preposterous. In opera, it's very specific to male tenors. There's a technique called covering that we do in order to maintain the integrity of a phrase. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I'm singing, I take this really bright approach of just bright vowel all the time. That higher note just kind of pops. You can even see it in the frequency, right? Look at that brightness. Instead, if I do this, right? Doming my soft palate, I create a more neutral vowel. We've talked about that a lot specifically for the words, but the reason I wanted to bring it up here is because now we're talking about the arc of a phrase. We're going away from using the words and highlighting the words simply by virtue of manipulating the word to now we want it to sound like a violin. Now we want it to sound like a cello. We go back to that meltingly good deliciousness of a phrase. As that last note builds, she's actually raising her larynx very gradually. And this is why I think casting Halle Bailey and why her singing voice in particular is so good for Ariel. She doesn't need to put on anything. Jodie Benson had to keep her larynx raised, which limits the options, right? Halle doesn't have to do that. And so now she can raise her larynx to give more to this phrase. Listen to the end of that note and where it goes, and the fact that it's getting progressively more gentle. Now she continues the vulnerability into the next phrase. Finally gives us lush depth. Not that she didn't bring it before, but now she's calling attention to it. That just gives me chills because that's just Halle Bailey having one of the most beautiful voices you've ever heard. I mean, that's angelic. It's what she did is actually very simple. Raised her larynx. She gave a little tilt. She was very gentle. Sounds better when she does it because the natural sound of her voice is just beautiful. You are born with that. Everything we've been talking about, you can do, but it just won't sound like that. Probably won't sound as good. I don't appreciate her making me confront my feelings of inadequacy. That crescendo. Amount of work, the amount of deliberate work that has to be done to achieve specificity of phrasing in the way that we just heard is immense. There's immense preparation. There's time sitting down there with the words being like, okay, this, that, and the other, reading the whole thing again, reading it piece by piece, and then reading the whole thing. Like the work is insane because you also, in addition to needing the words, understanding the words, using the words, you have to use your vocal technique to paint these words. So the vast nature of her tools in her tool bag for being a singer, she is able to pick and pull different little bits and pieces and tricks in the interest of the words. And that is why Halle Bailey is a musical genius in terms of doing this. Think of the last time you've ever seen someone be this specific with their choices. This is hard work, and yes, she clearly works hard. But the other part is that she is in her early 20s with this bag of tricks, with this attention to detail. She's incredible. I will never listen to another version of this song ever again. So I'm forced to. That's where noise canceling headphones come in. So if someone's like, oh, you gotta listen to this, I'd be like, cool. And Halle Bailey. For real, that the hero of this story is definitely that man with the blue hat in his 50s going like, I just love Disney. Who I want to be when I grow up, right there. A little taller. What do I have here?
You want thingamabobs?
I love this, that she simplifies even more.
You want thingamabobs?
That it was in slow motion, unintentional, but you get what I'm saying here.